Hello, friends, and welcome to the Particularly Peculiar Podcast, episode number 17.
Wow.
Big number 17.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every time we do one, it gets bigger.
This podcast is about to be an adult.
It is, oh my gosh. It's about to move out of the house.
It's graduating high school this year.
Right. Congratulations,
Yep.
podcast.
Good job, podcast.
Well, we're back recording. It's been busy time for us lately.
Yes.
And, squeezing in this recording time becomes difficult, but we make it happen.
We do our best.
That's right.
And here we are.
Here we are, talking about stuff. We've been really busy with the store lately, which, good news, the store is fully launched, up and available, ready for your orders.
So go check it out, y'all.
Yep.
Buy yourself a shirt. Buy yourself a sage bundle, a selenite wand while you're at it.
Yeah. And we have many more products to come. We've just launched right now with what we have. We just want to get it out there. We have some other vendors that we're looking at to bring to the store.
Yes, you guys, we actually are registered with the wild berry incense.
Mm-hmm.
Can we discuss that?
Yep.
Okay, and we will be selling incense. I don't know how we're going to do it, if we're going to do like single sticks or bundles, but
Right.
we'll hopefully here soon have incense burners, maybe some wax melts, and they are literally the best incense ever.
The best. And the reason we went with them is because we use them personally.
Yeah, probably like almost every day, every other day.
Yeah, and they're
We love
wonderful. The scents are fantastic. And when they're burning, they give off such a good scent. And even just having them in our house, even when they're not burning, they still like smell good.
Yes, like I walk by, I keep them in a little vase on top of our microwave in bags, mind you. And like I walk past them and I'm like, oh, what smells good over here? Oh, it's just these wild berry incense. So hopefully we'll be getting those out to you guys soon too. So lots of good stuff coming your way. Just remember to stick with us and keep checking back and get your goods, your peculiar goods.
Yep, and that's at www.peculiargoods.com. And they're going to be our first sponsor. Peculiar Goods. This show is brought to you by peculiargoods.com. Go to the website, use the discount code podcast10 for 10% off. We'll give that to you. We'll keep that one running for all of you listeners out there.
That's right.
Special deal just for you. So today I wanted to talk about some moon conspiracy theories. And yeah, I've heard a few just here and there throughout life. And the other day I decided to look up, a top list of moon conspiracies and kind of ran through them. And I thought, man, this would be a great topic. So we're going to bring that to you today. First, I have a little bit of peculiar news that some of you have probably seen. It is the massive sinkhole that they found in Chile. And it is huge. It's 656 feet deep.
Whoa.
And the picture of it, it's weird. It's so like almost symmetrical,
it's
circle.
like a perfect circle.
It's like a perfect circle, just straight down. So this is near a mine of some sort.
Of course.
But it almost looks like a missile silo. Like that's how big of an opening it is.
Guys, it looks like, imagine like a hole punch into the earth.
Just right into the earth. For real. Or it looks like maybe some large frickin' beam.
Right.
Like shot straight down, and just incinerated all of that.
Yeah, just gouged out a big hole.
So it's huge. It's near the mining town of Tierra Amarilla.
Whoa. That picture is even crazier. It's just a black hole.
Yeah, it's wild. So it's 82 feet wide.
Gee.
656 feet deep. It is absolutely massive, people. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's pretty weird. There's a lot of theories as to what caused it, but I wasn't able to find one that was, definite.
Do they think one is like more likely than anything else, or
They said they haven't detected any material down at the bottom, but what they have seen is a lot of water. And that's what they keep referring back to, is the amount of water that's down there. So I really am not sure.
they're not sure what caused it? Just that the bottom of it is a pool, basically.
Yeah, just put a
Weird.
big old diving board on the side of that.
That's so weird.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So that was my peculiar news today. I thought that was just super weird. And
When did that happen? Do you know? Like, when did they find it?
this article was released. By the way, this article was on npr.org on their strange news section. It was published on August 4th, so just about 5 days ago. I imagine they found it within a few days of that article, because that's about when I heard it, was a week or so ago. I don't even remember where I saw it for the first time, but yeah, just wild, peculiar. Which brings us to today's topic, the moon conspiracy theories. So I'm just going to be going off of an article on livescience.com or livescience.com. I can't ever figure out which one it is. It's live science that you live.
Yep, that's right.
So this article is Top Moon Conspiracy Theories and Why They Are Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty bold. So conspiracies about the moon go back, obviously, a very long time. And one of the biggest ones that I'm sure everybody knows about was back in 1969, we allegedly landed on the moon.
No, we allegedly faked landing on the moon.
We allegedly faked landing on the moon. The conspiracy of whether or not we actually landed on the moon has been going around since it happened, allegedly. So some of the big questions behind the moon landing is, like, why are there no stars in the pictures while they're on the moon? And why does it look like the flag was fluttering when the picture was taken? This article kind of goes through a couple of the questions that are brought up in the conspiracy, and they say the reason that there is no stars in the picture is because they are on the bright side of the moon, which means it's illuminated by the sun. Just like when Earth is illuminated by the sun, you can't see stars in the sky.
Yeah.
It just looks different, because the moon doesn't have the atmosphere like we do.
Yeah, we have a very different atmosphere
Yeah.
than the moon.
And then they say the reason why the flag looks like it's quote unquote fluttering is because when they made that flag, they purposefully put a metal rod in the flag, like to give it that ripple effect.
To me, it didn't look like it was fluttering. Honestly, it looks like it's kind of crumpled up, like it's traveled up there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had to, get it to hang, essentially. Like, I don't know. This is probably one of the ones that I can, but also cannot believe that it's like as big as it is, because
Right.
for one thing, I'm like, maybe there was something on the moon or some issue that they had where they couldn't, like, say they did land, but they couldn't necessarily get the footage. Maybe they did have to recreate some in a studio.
They could have, yeah.
But also, it's like, I don't know why they would do that. Like, I don't know what the point of that would be. I don't know what the point of staging a moon landing would be.
One of the biggest reasons that I've heard
is beat Russia in the space race.
Well, and to bankrupt Russia. This was during the Cold War, I believe. And they say the reason that we faked it was to get Russia to put all of their resources into trying to get to the moon and trying to not necessarily bankrupt them, but, give them something else to focus on.
Right. Get their attention elsewhere.
Right. Now, I believe that we went to the moon. I believe we landed there. I believe it's all true. And I believe we've gone there, a couple times. We go into space. And then it's so disrespectful to, like, the astronauts that had been there. Could you imagine Like they actually went there. They risked their lives, risked never seeing their families again to go to the moon to like pioneer this adventure and then have people just say, "Oh no, you didn't actually go there. That was fake."
Yeah, that'd be pretty annoying.
And they're like, "Y'all, I was up there. I seen it."
But also, I like how people are like, "Oh, there's no stars." I mean, it's like, okay, guys, just use some common sense, like basic science that we learned in, elementary school.
Right. So yeah, that's a big conspiracy that I've heard off and on throughout my life. And the next one I've actually heard more recently is the conspiracy that there are aliens on the moon. And I had touched on this on one of our last episodes about the moon being actually an alien starbase
Yes.
that is there to monitor the progress of their project called Earth and the humans they put there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're almost ready to pull the plug.
They probably should have done it a while ago.
They're like, yeah, this isn't working out.
So I think, I remember us talking about this, and this is one of the ideas. I can't necessarily say that I think the moon is like a base, because I feel like we would have a lot more like strange UFO activity or happenings around the moon. But I guess I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of times, like we had mentioned before, where aliens kind of pop up when there's high tension on Earth, or like when there's threat of nuclear wars or things like that. And I do kind of sometimes think that we were brought here by aliens, or we were at least created from some sort of, they brought a DNA
Right.
here and planted it here, or we were elsewhere and we ended up having to leave that place and come here.
Yeah. And we've just like forgotten about it.
Yeah, not necessarily saying that they're an experiment. Well, not necessarily that we've forgotten, but that, we've grown so much as a civilization. When we first got here, we didn't have technologies that we do now, which is kind of also silly. If we were brought here by aliens, you'd think that we'd be a lot further along than we are, but
right. And if we were able to transport ourselves across space and, to another planet, you would think that we would have
maybe we just we couldn't. I don't know. But
maybe by the time we got here, everything was destroyed. We crash landed.
They lost our luggage.
No.
Maybe.
So there is a self-proclaimed UFO researcher by the name of Scott Waring who claims to have found 2 photos in the NASA Image Atlas in 2013 that have since been deleted, which he says that those photos that were deleted was 100% evidence that the moon is not real, but actually an alien space station. And he just happened to see them before they were deleted.
Oh, so not even saying like there's a space station on the moon, but
No.
it is an alien space station.
Yeah, the moon itself. And they say, and what they think is that the moon actually like opens like
on the dark side
like
of it.
has doors that open to allow spaceships.
But people
in and out of it.
forget that on the dark side of the moon, here, there is a light side of the moon on the other side. Not like the other side of Earth, but like China just put out a satellite or something that got visual of the light side of the moon.
Well, right. It's our dark side of the moon, but yeah, when we can't
We never
it.
see the other side.
Yeah, we never see the
from
other side.
Earth.
Right, but it can be illuminated by the sun.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like, just because we can't see it, we can go and see it. Like,
Yeah.
we can't see it from here with our eye, like naked eye,
Right.
but we can go and see it.
Yeah, there's satellites that.
So I think that they saw that isn't happening.
Well, they just didn't open the doors while they were looking.
I guess. I guess
They just know somehow. So this Scott Waring also has a YouTube video while he was analyzing the Giordano Bruno crater, which is a 14-mile wide crater that's on the far side of the moon. He said that he located some damaged or destroyed structures that could be up to 100 million years old. And some of them had reflective roofs. And some of them looked like spaceships, which he explained in the YouTube video, which there is a link to that YouTube video in the livescience.com article. I did click through and watch that video, and it is very hard to make out really anything that's going on there. It's so, I mean, it's really distorted and black and white, kind of looking, but
I've seen the pictures of reflective surfaces on the moon,
Yeah.
or like things that almost look like tinfoil or like garbage, like litter,
Right.
they say. And I mean, I guess that is something to say, like, hey, who knows? Maybe something has landed on the moon in the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that aliens use it as a base to watch us and their weird project going on. But I don't know. That's another one that I'm kind of like, eh. Have you heard of the one that's also like the moon is just a projection?
yeah. Yep.
Guys, I don't know. The thing is like everything on the planet is affected by the moon.
So they say.
Well, come on. It's like directly linked.
Yeah.
Like, the tides, I think even the winds are affected by the moon. I honestly don't know, but I
don't
think
know either.
unless the winds are like affected by the tides, which are affected by the moon.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
I think the women's menstrual cycles are on a lunar cycle.
Really?
Yeah, things like that. So we're just it makes sense that the moon is like something that came from the earth or vice versa, or, however they say, like when we were forming, something kind of smashed into the earth and the moon
Right.
fell out of, off of earth and formed out there and has been in orbit. It makes sense that we would be so aligned with the moon, considering that it is part of the earth.
Right.
And that, I mean, literally our human bodies, we are made mostly of water. When the moon is full, humans actually are affected by the full moon. That's why, like, people who work in healthcare, I know when there's a full moon, because it's fucking wild. It gets crazy. People react to a full moon.
That was actually another one that's on this article.
Really?
Talking about the full moon and how it affects
It
people.
does. I 100% believe that it does. You can almost just feel that energy shift of like there is something happening. And it's usually like just these strange things will be happening, or like weird situations keep coming up, and then you're like, is it a full moon right now? And then
Is that what's going on?
and then by God it is.
Right.
So I don't know. I kind of don't think that the moon is not real.
Yeah.
Unless it's the aliens just syncing us with them.
Right.
And they're like, oh, it's the moon. I don't know. But,
Yeah. So you had touched on the fact that the moon is like a chunk of Earth that went out into space a long time ago. And that's actually what led me to this article. Was I was researching about where the moon came from, which there are several theories on that as well.
Oh, I
that
bet.
it was a captured asteroid from somewhere else in space that just happened to get locked into our gravitational
I mean,
pull,
it could be.
or that there was some sort of either collision or natural explosion on the Earth, something that blew a very large chunk of the Earth just out far enough to be caught, not to escape, but still be caught in our gravitational pull and turned into the moon, which I think that's how a lot of people lean based on the chemical makeup of the surface of the moon, from which they have brought back during these very real lunar missions.
I
And-
mean, maybe they just like found some dust on Earth and
Right,
they were
they're
like,
like, "Oh, yeah.
wow,
This is moon dust.
look at these chemical compositions.
Wow, it's like the same.
Oh, that's so weird.
So, yeah, we'll have to go into the creation of the moon as well
Yeah.
at a later date.
Well, I think now this is a little bit more difficult too, is that is what we are conventionally taught in school, because we're taught about the Big Bang, and we're taught that at some point when the Earth was still kind of forming itself, it was being hit with this space matter,
Yeah.
and that stuff kind of flew off the Earth. It got like, I feel like I don't know if this is accurate, but I feel like for some reason I'm remembering them explaining it as like an asteroid belt or something like that around the Earth, but eventually it all just kind of globbed together while it was still cooling and
Platoed.
formed the moon. Yeah. And over time, that has just stayed in sync with the Earth. And I don't know how accurate that is, but for some reason, I'm feeling like I remember learning that
Right.
at some point.
And all of it really is all just theories and
Yeah, I
speculation.
mean, who knows? It's not like anybody was there like witnessing it that we know of.
Right. Not that we know of.
So, who knows? But I feel like that probably would be very likely, just considering how close it is to Earth and how in tune we are with
Right.
the moon. It just makes sense.
Right. So here's the one that says the moon makes us lunatics or insomniacs, which is just claiming the negative effects of a moon. But it's saying that, a popular lunar myth is that a full moon can affect our well-being. It can make us wilder, more likely to give birth, less likely to sleep, more likely to commit crimes, which there is a lot of things that say there is absolutely no link between us and the moon. And there are other things that say, yes, we are linked between the moon and
I mean, I'm sure like
us and the moon.
scientifically, there probably isn't a lot of like testing on something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I firmly believe it. It's just, maybe it's for people, what do they call people, like star seeds who are from space somewhere else, and that they're more in tune with that stuff because that's where we come from.
Right.
We don't come from here.
In a lot of the magical teachings and things, which I am not very aware of, but you see a lot in the the witchy stuff and the magic with a K stuff. There's a lot of, the moon has a lot to do with a lot of things.
A strong astrology influence.
Right.
Because, I mean, the planets have been here far longer than the rest of us, and ways that the human body is like, you can see connections from the human body, like into the depths of the universe, like things like that, or like some things that I've shared to you is like how, roots in a tree in the ground look like our lung capillaries, or how brain neurons look like stars in the galaxy. Like it's
Right.
I don't know how to explain
it's crazy,
that.
yeah, all the connections that we have.
It's just like, it just seems like it's a smaller, like those are the big celestial bodies and we are just like little pieces of these celestial bodies, and like
Right.
it just keeps going smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, if that makes any sense, I don't know how to describe it. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, what if our Earth, like what if when we're outside and we see like a bug or something, like what if to these bugs, like we are these like space creatures almost, like we're these things, these
Right.
giant bodies that rule their whole world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Don't step on me.
and then to us, that is this. And then to people out in aliens or whatever, out in space on these other planets far, far away, like what is that? What's their step up? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's just that we're all connected. It's all connected. There's no other way to move around that. Like, first of all, where did we come from? Why are we here? We came from space. We came from space dust.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
most of the theories, indicate that we did.
Everybody, I'm having an existential crisis right
my
now.
gosh.
Ah!
So here's another one that isn't, I guess, a moon conspiracy theory, but my buddy sent me a reel yesterday that was saying, it was a guy explaining, so when you dream and you have the dream that's like, it seems so real. You perceive everything from that separate character as to be real in your dream. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, wow, that was crazy. Well, like, what if what we're doing now is that exact same thing? It's perceived to be real through this separate character. We're actually a separate character, you know, just in this dream right now that's being dreamt by a bigger being, you know, and we're just in the dream of that
almost
bigger being.
Almost like a sleepy time simulation theory.
Yeah, so it's like that there's
Ugh.
all these
I don't like
layers. So like the world that we dream when we dream is a whole nother like universe that's like real and exists, you know, and we're just like living it.
Inception.
During our, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
To the highest degree.
And it depends on how much you really think about it. It can trip you out. Otherwise you can be like, oh no, that's just, you know.
Guys, and so
poppycock.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of this stuff is like stuff you think about when you're really stoned.
Right.
You know?
We're not.
We're not. And regularly we are not. And it's just like, it's so weird because that is like stuff I think about walking to my car in the morning.
Yeah, for real.
My kids are like, Mom, I don't know that. And I'm like over here like, oh my gosh, what if
Are we in a dream?
I'm like a super giant to these little bugs and they're like worshiping their god. I don't know, like weird shit like that.
Right.
Okay.
Silly.
Anyway.
So we'll end it on a silly one that I have heard, but it's been a long time since I heard it, and I read it on here, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, I don't think this is like a conspiracy theory though. I think this was something that I think our parents just used to tell us.
Right.
Did that happen to you?
I don't remember where I heard it.
I feel
but
like
when
my
I was
parents
a kid,
told me that.
I mean, probably my parents or some adult lied to me as a child, as they do.
Yeah, of course.
About everything. Everything's a lie when you're a child. That the moon is made of cheese.
I mean,
and why should it not be?
But that also, listen, we're in tune with the moon. We're in tune with the moon. That's a new shirt.
Why we love cheese.
Yeah. we are made 70% of cheese.
Cheese. It's not water. It's cheese, people.
That's right. It's liquid cheese.
We are cheese people.
It's a fondue in there.
Cheese. Fondue. Fondue the moon.
Gross.
So anyway, that was just some fun.
Yeah, that was fun. We obviously got a little bit behind last week with, again, with our vacation and whatnot. And we wanted this episode to be up at 5 a.m. this morning. We didn't reach that goal quite, but we wanted to just bring something light and fun and just chat with you guys again, because it feels like it's kind of been a while since we've done that.
Yeah.
I think the past couple, besides the one right before this, were kind of heavier. I don't remember. I mean, they're just very in-depth, like, and heavy and a lot of research. And we just wanted to come and be funny with you guys and let you guys know that
we are funny.
We are. And that's partly why you're here.
And we have continued to get some listener submissions, so keep that coming. And we did find out that today, for some reason, our website was down all day today. And I'm not sure why, but I got it fixed. The website is back up, particularlypeculiar.com. And you can fill out the contact form page on there and continue to send us listener submissions so that we can fill entire episodes with your guys' stories. We'll give you shout outs and everything.
Yes. I will give a shout out now to Amelia. Thank you for sending in your recommendation for a future episode. I'm definitely looking into that.
Yes.
And when we do it, if we get to do it, we will be giving you a big old shout out on that episode as well. So thank you all so much for submitting your recommendations and your listener stories. We love it and we love you.
Very, very much. And make sure to go check out our merch at peculiargoods.com.
Which you can find the link to the store on particularlypeculiar.com as well.
That's right.
We will see you again soon. Until next time, our peculiar people.